So the Resident Evil 2 remake came out recently, and it's pretty fucking great. It's not a big mess like Resident Evil 6 was anymore. Just want to mention before I get into this video that it's going to contain spoilers. I'm talking about every enemy in Resident Evil, so obviously you're going to get spoiled a little bit. Anyways, the game's awesome, but all the enemies are bullshit, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I guess in a game like this, you want your enemies to be bullshit. So let me explain one by one. Let's break it down. First of all, you got your zombies. These are the things you're going to be seeing the most of, and unlike most Resident Evil games, you really don't want to kill them, or you're going to be wasting all your resources trying to kill them. When you first get in this game, you're going to try and headshot a zombie, and then you're going to try and headshot it again, and again, and again. Probably like 5 or 10 times, depending on what difficulty you're playing on. Every now and then, they throw in a lucky critical, which is completely up to chance, which instantly kills the zombie, but it's kinda BS. You can't rely on just some luck to kill it every single time. So basically you just shoot for the limbs of the zombie and hope that works. You leave it kinda legless is really your best bet, but then you gotta deal with it trying to bite your legs later on. But the game was really designed in this way. They want you to shoot the zombies and they want the zombies coming back. Kind of like in Resident Evil 1 where whenever you killed a zombie it came back in the later half of the game. This basically leaves you in a state of unease. You never know if the zombies are gonna come back unless you got that lucky headshot or wasted a ton of bullets on it. So the zombies are bullshit. That's kind of going to be your biggest complaint that you see from most people, complaining that they can't just kill the zombies like Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, but that's a good thing. Alright, next you got your dogs. These things are fast. They kind of go all over the place. The AI is a little wonky. Sometimes they just run around you in circles, other times who knows what's gonna happen. If you're trying to run away from them, you can do this kind of zigzag motion and they jump at you and miss. That seems to be the best strategy most of the time. But, you know, as far as dogs go in Resident Evil games, I think they're pretty solid. Okay, then you got these Ivy guys. They are like super zombies. They got these little bulbs you can shoot to knock them down, but their movements are so erratic. Their animations are all over the place. They're flailing their arms and legs. It's very hard to hit those most of the time. Your safest bet with these guys is just fire. If you're Leon, you got the flamethrower, you just light them up. If you're Claire, you got the grenade launcher, which is kind of a waste of resources depending on how many flame rounds you had or used elsewhere. I don't know, these guys are really annoying compared to regular guys. And if you don't have a recovery item and they grab you, it's an instant kill. So that's BS, right? Then you have these fucking guys, the lickers. I mean, in every Resident Evil game, they got the lickers there to, you know, piss you off. They're supposed to be the super hard enemies. They're usually late game, but they throw in a bunch of lickers pretty early on in this game. In this one, you can actually avoid them generally by just walking, not running. But there are a lot of times, like, where you're being chased by Mr. X or whatever, where you want to run down a hall and then suddenly lickers on your tail. If you try to run away from these guys, you're pretty much fucked. I mean, there are some advanced speedrun strategies I've seen where people try to run past them in certain ways, but even speedrunners I've seen get messed up by these guys quite a lot. Anyways, fuck these guys. Nobody likes lickers, but I guess that's the point. You're not supposed to like them. They're really annoying enemies. Oh, and these fucking things. Jeez. What the hell is a G? I don't know. They're the sewer creatures. If you played the game, you've seen sewer creatures. Fuck these things. They're most inconsistent things when you're trying to speedrun or get through any point with some relative speed. Like half the time you can run right by them, nothing happens, no big deal, just like any other enemy. The other half you get grabbed like 3 times in a row and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just completely up to chance whether their grab animation is going to connect with you in the tight quarters they're in. Yeah, sure, you can say, oh, I'm going to shoot these things, I'm going to kill them. Well, yeah, be prepared to waste like half your ammo just to kill one of them. These things are real bullshit. Yeah, this buddy, the alligator, where you're like running away from it, sort of like a Crash Bandicoot sequence. You're running towards the camera, you can't really see anything. There's no way that you'll actually know what's ahead of you. You just kind of have to play it once and then realize that, oh, I'm supposed to go left or right here. That's kind of a gimmicky boss, really. They expect you to play it more than once or get lucky on your first try. Whatever. Alright, here's the one that everybody knows. If you've seen anything about Resident Evil 2, then you've seen Mr. X, aka the Tyrant. Big guy in a coat, walks around, follows you for like half the game, pops out all the time, chases you around. He's just a general annoyance. First time you play the game and you're not really familiar with the layout, it's super, super stressful. Like, he's chasing you all over the place. You're trying to plan your route to your next puzzle or how to get through whatever you need to do, collect some items, whatever, and you hear him stomping around behind you. Eventually, once you played the game a few times and you can plan your routes, he's generally easy to avoid. But that first playthrough or two, he is a complete menace. You're gonna hate him, but you're gonna love him at the same time because it's a horror game and he does his job pretty effectively. Alright, and last but certainly not least is Birkin. This guy makes up basically all the boss fights in the game, except for one of them where you're fighting the Tyrant, which, whatever. Birkin has 3 forms, which is 3 boss fights, and a 4th form if you're playing Claire. First form, pretty easy. Kind of a standard Resident Evil boss with a small arena. You just kind of run circles around and shoot the big glowing eyeball on him. Second form, a little bit bullshit. You can't kill him unless you use this container on him. It really reminded me of like Resident Evil 5, where you have to get that stupid thing stuck in the furnace room. Third form, it gets a little more crazy, but I think the third form is kind of more balanced than the second form, even though it's significantly harder, of course. You're given a sort of big arena to work with. He does some like get angry move where he picks up this big pillar and you just kind of move to the side, and it's not really a big deal at all. After a couple playthroughs, it's like, kind of got the rhythm of this down, so no big deal. The fourth form is kind of inconsistent, I'd say. You have to shoot these eyeballs on him, and you have a minigun, and you pop the eyeballs to do extra damage and stuff. And then there's even this special final form at the end. Just a bunch of like organs and claws and fangs floating around. But yeah, this game is pretty cool. But the enemies are bullshit at the same time, which is really good for a horror game. You want the enemies to be bullshit. You can go complain about it on the forums or whatever. Say this boss is completely unkillable. You'll see a lot of posts like that where it's like, how the fuck do you beat this boss? This game is so stupid, I hate it. And it's like, these are the kind of reactions you kind of want to see as a horror developer. Anyways, Resident Evil 2 is really good, and I was thinking of making a whole video on it, but it's like, you've seen everything. Like, people have been posting non-stop about this game. It definitely deserves all the praise. This is definitely something to pick up. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. And then you can join in on all the Mr. X memes, post your own version of Mr. X gonna give it to you or whatever. That's about all I have to say about Resident Evil 2. I'm gonna go back to playing it some more.
The interview's over.